Hello Internet, in this video I'm going to be painting up some Necron blades. Among the marching tides of the Necron armies, you will often find long, deadly blades. And in this video I'm going to be showing you how I paint them. There is a very distinct look to them put forward by Games Workshop in which it's very reflective, and that's the kind of look that I'm going to be going for. Just as a side note, for those of you that like Necrons, there are probably going to be a few more videos on this channel this year around the Necron army, and that is because, you know, the whole New Year, New Army thing that Games Workshop likes to go on about. Yeah, I've fallen into that trap, but I think I'm starting a Necron army. So yeah, there'll be a few more painting videos on Necrons, so stick around and suggest anything you'd like to see me do with those models in the comments below. Now let's actually get to the painting. The thing I'm going to be teaching you here is not so much about the colours, but is actually just about the technique. So this thing that I'm doing will apply to any colours you want to use. So speaking of colour, the three colours you're going to need is a white, a black, and whatever colour you want the blade to appear. For my blades I'm going to be using a blue. I go for quite a cool blue. I think it's actually Calgar blue by Citadel. Could be wrong, but I know it's one of those lighter blues that Citadel offers. What I'm going to do is cover the whole blade in this colour. Make sure to do a couple layers to get a maximum coverage. Next up I'm going to take a 50-50 mix of the white and our main colour, which in this case is blue, and I'm going to apply those to certain areas on the blade. I'm going to apply them to two ends on one side and then the middle on the other side of the blade. We're making sure that they are applied on opposite areas of the blade on each side so that it actually appears reflective. Once you're done sketching in these areas, don't worry, you don't have to be too precise. We're going to move on to doing the same with black. So a 50-50 mix of black and your main colour applied to the opposite areas of which you just done the white. Now, although it's messy, you can already see what the blade is going to look like when it's finished, how the reflection is going to work. A good thing to remember when doing these kind of blades is it's not a step-by-step process. You're going to be jumping back and forth between different colours and different thicknesses of paint, trying to blend them all together. Not locking yourself in this step-by-step approach really will help with the fluidity of the work. Saying that, the next step is going to be to try and blend some of these colours into the blue. To do that, take your original blue and thin it down quite a lot to a glaze consistency. If you don't know what that is, it's a little bit thicker than a wash. You're going to then apply this paint on the areas where the dark or light paint meet the blue paint. This will help smooth out the transition between the two colours. Now this can take a while. Don't be afraid to let it dry and come back and just keep working on it. It's something that can be a bit difficult to understand, but the more you do it, the easier it will get. My first one of these blades took me a couple hours to get right. The last one, it took me half an hour. So, you know, the more you do it, you're going to speed up a lot more. The next thing that I like to do is deepen the colours of both the dark areas and the light areas. To do this, I'm going to apply some straight white paint to a very small proportion of the white areas. Now to blend this white area into the lighter part of the blade, you're going to use that light paint from area, again get it to a glaze consistency and sort of just blend between the white and the light blue. Having this really white spot on the blade really helps add a bit of drama to the whole thing. Same goes for the black. Add a small bit of black to the darkened areas and glaze just as you did before to help blend. Now if you don't feel comfortable with glazing, and I know that I'm not that comfortable doing it, but you think that you can work pretty quickly, then another way you can do this is wet blending. If you're applying all the paints rather quickly, you can blend between them whilst they're still wet. That's how I lay down most of the base colours on my other blades. And I've got to say, I prefer doing it that way, even if you get a smoother, cleaner finish by doing it with glazes. Once you've got your dark areas and your light areas as light or dark as you want, and you've got all the transitions as smooth as you're comfortable with, then one thing to help tie it all together is to add some highlights. Now how I do this is to use some white paint and edge highlight the whole blade. I also edge highlight the raised portion in the middle of the blade, and I go around the edge of all the circles and weird shapes that are on these Necron blades. Doing this not only adds a bit of definition to the piece, because of all that blending it can blend into each other, but it also helps drive that contrast and really make the blades look quite dramatic. Now, as I say, this process can be done with any colour. You could also do this to paint your power swords on Space Marines and stuff. It's the exact same process as that, it's just Necron blades are a bit wider. I hope some of you found this video useful. If you did, please consider giving this video a thumbs up or commenting down below or subscribing to the channel. Everything you do really helps, and if you're a long-time supporter and want to support just a little bit more with some casharoonie, then consider visiting some of the links in the description below, where you can buy a t-shirt that I've designed, or you could join our Patreon, in which you get early access to videos, some behind the scenes access, and be part of a secretive community over there as well. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you later.